Chris here from Serene Education with the 4 majors and that's update for the 18th of June 2012. Hi folks, hope you had a fantastic weekend. And what happened yesterday with the election, the Greek election? Well, the pros just literally scraped in by the neck of, by the closest of margins against the lefties. And it looks like they have to now try and form a coalition government as soon as possible. However, the tie was so close that the lefties did get quite a lot to say, which doesn't bode too well. But the thing is, though, they got the yes, which is a more important thing, and now they need to build on it. So what did Price do? Very much indeed taking that in stride and moving it well above that 1265, though. More importantly, it needs to close above that because that happens to be a major support and resistance level on our daily, going back a fair few years, in fact. Very, very strong support and resistance level in the past. And as of play this morning on the Asian session going into the European session, a massive move to the upside. A lot of indecision. See a indecisive spinning top on close on Friday. We want to see we're looking for a decisive candle. So rather wait and see where this candle closes either side of this. But let me just point out that we have the G20 meetings in play as we speak, and they're going to be looking at things relating to particularly Eurozone. So it'll be interesting to just keep an eye on that and see what pans out from those meetings. But as it stands at the moment now in Euro-US dollar, positive upside movement on the positive figure that came out on the Greek elections, which has taken price above that 1265. It now needs to hang on to that, and we need to see it close. So as you can quite clearly see that the candle is blue in favor at the moment now, and all that's missing will be the CTC going blue on either side, and that would or should arise if and when we are trading above the 1265 long term. So as it stands at the moment now, trading above 1265 does need to close above 1265 at the end of play this day or today or the end of this week to see any further extensions to the upside. If that is the case, then we should be targeting the 1280 here, price support and resistance level. This pullback over here, for example. Overall, let's have a look and see where we can go to. So the 38.2, 1265 in play now. The 50% will take us to that price support and resistance level here at 1280. 61.8 will take us to this other hesitation we had here at 1290. Above that, we have the 78.6 will bring us back to around the 1305 or 1300, which happens to be that price support and resistance level, that major support and resistance level for most of this year. Above that, so targets to the upside definitely if and when price closes above 1265. Sterling is next up, and here we know that 15300 major support and resistance level on the weekly chart. We've seen price really bouncing higher, rallying after that bounce, psychological bounce at this area, this consolidation bounce over here, and punching higher. Now, notice on Friday, a massive move to the upside. However, this is the announcement where the Bank of England, Merv King, has now stated, through more stimulus at the market. We saw this massive correction after this slight consolidation here at 1555, and price moved right up into that 1575, trading this morning on the Asian Open, going to the Asian close, going to the European Open. And you can see the high here we had an early May down to the low here in June, and you can see the 23.6 we had that consolidation, breakout, pullback, and then the continuation higher, taking above the 38.2 and consolidating now at the underside of the institution moving average on our daily. Correction just here on the way towards the 50% line at the 15800. We know at 15700 is a very strong support and resistance level in the past. We've had a lot of hesitation at this area, and you can see price is doing exactly that. So for this week, we want to see price trading or finding support above 38.2, which is around the 1565. As long as it maintains above 1565, then we should ultimately be targeting that 50% line at 5800. Got to break above that, guys. It's imperative that we get above this because as long as it's trading below the institution moving average, it's still long-term favorable negativity. Get above that, then we start seeing that positiveness starting to pan out, and we should be targeting the 61.8 and the 78.6 at the top here before we look at 100%. But at the moment now, testing that underside of the institution moving average here at 1575 and 15700. So It needs to break above that. Bit of consolidation this morning, and we'll see. As long as it's 38.2 here at 1565 remains in play as support, then we should be targeting the higher side for the remainder of the week. The moment it breaks below this 1565, then look for potential further downside to be fresh. Targets to the downside, 23.6 here at 1555 is our first target. On to Swiss franc. This pair pulling back on the Asian session last night and moving slightly lower. We were expecting price to hopefully find support at 38.2, which failed to materialize. We've had a consecutive bounce there recently. The close on the session on US very negative on Friday, and we've seen that break lower. Very indecisive this morning at the start of the European session, but still above the 50% nonetheless, which correlates here with this consolidation area back here at 9400. So as it stands at the moment now, we're starting to see two parts of our CTC strategy in play now. We have the red. However, the CTC histogram on the other side is still very much blue for upside positiveness. It is important. You can see that prior the 960 was a major support and resistance level that failed to materialize. You can quite clearly see here we had this 960 considered highs here at the 38.2, and you can see price fell to actually hold on to those highs, and we're now trading lower due to that. So the longer it trades below the 950, then ultimately we should be looking at the downside as protected targets. So the 50% line here, 940, will be our first target. Second target, 61.8, will bring us back to this price support and resistance here, where we had this prior tweezer top at the just above the 930 mark. So definite area here would be the 930 long term for this pair as it continues to the downside. Negativity, swing lows, so you can see the downside pattern as we speak now, and we've broken this prior resistance and support here at 950. So easily targeting the 50%, and below that back towards 61.8 here at the 930. Last pair of the day is US dollar Japanese yen. Here again, price on Friday, very much a negative candle. A lot of selling at the end of play on the US session on Friday. However, closing on the institution moving average, and in doing so, finding a bit of support there. And this morning on the Asian session, yet again on Monday, we've seen a massive bounce, the correction, almost taking out the entire trading range on Friday. You take the low here in Feb all the way to the highs at 84 that we saw in March. You can quite clearly see the price has pulled back to certain fib retracement areas along the way. On this pullback, a massive pullback, and breaking, closing lower than the 80, which happens to be a major support and resistance level over a number of months. I'd like to see price actually staying above that to see any further extension to the upside after this breakout. That failed to materialize, and then once we started getting this break to the downside with this conviction candle here, it's bearish engulfing, we've seen price now is trading at the underside, which is a very negative sentiment, and you can see that the CTC strategy has really much played in our favor, and in doing so has kept price below this 80. And as long as we're trading below the 80, the overall sentiment is negative, and we've started seeing selling. Slight correction here recently, but that failed to materialize because we came to some strong resistance here at the 80, and as long as it maintains below that, then we should be looking for negative sentiment. This morning on the Asian session, we've seen a pullback. However, the 61.8 is in play as you speak. That's prior support and resistance. If we find resistance over here, then price is still going to be maintaining that negative sentiment lower, and we should be targeting the prior support and resistance bounce, which was the 78.6. Let me just put that in so you can see it. 0.6. Apply. There we go, where we had this bounce over here just above the 77.70 mark. If we fail to see price rallying and reattempting the 80 again soon, then we should be looking for the downside still to be major target at 78.6 here at the 77.70 mark for the foreseeable future, guys. That's it. Hope you have a fantastic trading day. Just be aware there are G20 summit meetings today, so all the news will be factoring around those meetings. So see if there's anything out that comes from that. And then we're obviously going to be watching Greece to see if they can come or put together a government as soon as possible, coalition government. That's the next step for the Greek government after the positive win yesterday for the pro side. There's still a long way to go, so it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out for the remainder of this month in particular and going forward. So keep your ears and eyes open, see if there's anything out there that's going to really move the market, and then just apply it. Other than that, just if you are trading the strategy, please ensure that you follow the right money management as well as the right rules for this particular pair. And just keep it simple, guys. Make sure you know where price is trading in relative to major support and resistance levels, and see what candles are building in and around those areas. That will give you a lot of indication into price sentiment and what's actually happening out there on the psychological side of things. So just keep that aware, be aware of it, and I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning. I hope you have a fantastic day. Until then, trade serenely.